This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. It's a freaking... Curiouser just told me what day it was. It's Tuesday. It's Christmas. No, hold on. It's New Year's Eve. How the fuck did your streak reset again? I'm tired of hearing about your streaking problems. Apparently Smokey had shit on his tail earlier. He was streaking around the house. Byronic, welcome in. Holiday, Warlord, Dougie. We're going to enjoy 2025 for another 24 hours here. Princess Kimberly. We're going to come on at 4 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to do news at 4 o'clock for about 3 or 4 hours. All kinds of end of the year, biggest stories of the year bullshit I got for you. On the YouTube, on the Twitch, tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon. Coming on at 4 o'clock. We'll be here for 4:20. Around 8 o'clock-ish, we will go to Twitch and Kick only. And we will watch New Year's Eve festivities. We started what we've watched New Year's Rockin' Eve in the past, and it had been decent. Last year it was insufferable. It was just all commercials and no musical performances. So we ended up going and finding the local Atlanta station had a concert, and they had Big Boy from Outkast, and that was awesome. So that's what we watched instead of New Year's Rockin' Eve. And I'll have a couple of different television stations up, maybe CNN, maybe we'll see Anderson Cooper and the one dude. Warlord, we're going to be on for when the fireworks go off over what Downton Abbey, is that what you call it? Is that where they set the fireworks off? Is it at Bridgerton? Cockburn Town. Man, I posted. You sent that to me. Warlord sent me Cockburn Town. And I posted it to Facebook. And only a couple of people liked it. It didn't really get the appreciation I thought it deserved. Because I was like, if you're out here messing with these hoes, you gotta watch out or you'll end up in Cockburn Town. Warlord's usually here, Mr. Elwood. I don't know what you're talking about. And tomorrow night we will witness the fireworks go off over Big Ben. Like London, London, London. Mr. Elwood, good evening. Now that you're here, we should totally get high. I think this bowl has some in it. Did you, Byronic? I don't want to... Make sure there's no official business I shouldn't be exposing over here. Just me saying Merry Christmas. And then Warlord, how bad must it be? Cockburn Town. It was both of you. Ticklecock Bridge. It's a pedestrian underpass in Castleford, England, under a railway line originally built by the York and North Midland Railway between York and Normanton. Ticklecock Bridge. I think we're back. It was just a temporary disconnection. Poonages. It was only a momentary lapse of reason. Ticklecock Bridge. Anyway, I had a professor in college. Poonages, welcome in Raiders, please refresh. Welcome Raiders. Thank you for the raid. Mr. Whiskers. The raid has restored the stream. Yes. Anyway, T-Minus, welcome in. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone had a good holiday. We were just discussing Ticklecock Bridge. We were discussing Ticklecock Bridge, where it's a underpass in Castleford, England.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the
vein
blowjob
moan.
of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
Thank you for being a freaking follower. Welcome in. If you're new here, I should probably do this. If you're new here, my name is JustinFREAKIN. We find out what that news be doing Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I was just discussing what we'll be doing tomorrow for New Year's. We're coming on early at 4 o'clock doing the news from like 4 to 8, and then we'll switch over and we'll watch the TV, the traditional New Year's countdown, maybe a little New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest, maybe whatever ABC's got going on. Last year we went and found a big boy concert in Atlanta, and that was awesome. But if you're not familiar with me, I happen to have a video that sums up what you can expect from this stream pretty fucking well. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
All we're establishing is this guy's wicked sick aesthetic.
Not high enough for this shit.
I guess I gotta thank Matt Wall for introducing me to JustinFREAKIN.
Hey there, y'all. We're about to get stupid, locked into what that news be doing. Fu Manchu and a slick bandana, colder than ice, smoother than Santana. Audio, video, chat and calls. Right-wing nut jobs haunt the halls. What you wanna watch? Hey, what you think? And there's only one choice. It's JustinFREAKIN.
The guy's, he's a formidable voice in the call.
Light one up and tip one back. It's a right to be high. Let's grab a snack. It's fucking news, quick panic, attack, and play your cards right and get a titty slap. Jump in Discords, have some fun. The man will talk to everyone. Get high and try to debate. When shit pops up, chat thinks it's great. What do you think you're doing? Join the troll patrol. Whatever discourse is brewing, he gives it that southern drawl.
So let's go ahead and bring in Justin. Hey Justin, how's it going, brother?
First of all, I want to say you're poser South. I'm in Alabama. I'm the real South.
Okay, all right. So why don't you tell us what it takes to be a man?
Well, I don't know. I'm in Alabama and I'll fuck a man in a dress. Why won't you fuck a man in a dress? Are you that insecure that you won't fuck a man in a dress?
That's fantastic. So you're okay with that, right?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Good.
Right-wingers are morons.
Light one it and hit one back. One more click before we hit the set an alert when that shit goes live. Social fucking support and hit subscribe. Light one up and take a hit. He does no harm, but it takes no shit. He's the last one standing when the ship is sinking. Let's take another rip for JustinFREAKIN.
Light one up, tip one back. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
Not high enough for this shit.
You heard the lady. Light one up, tip one back. I actually drank on stream the other day. What was it, Christmas? I had a beer on stream. That's very odd for me. I don't drink very often. I've got a big show planned for tomorrow at 4 o'clock. The most absurd news, politics, and current events of 2025. I think the thumbnail I made is pretty fucking absurd. I love the little Nas X and his tidy whities. I thought he looked real hot in that video too. Flo, welcome in. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. Hope everybody had a good holiday. We're gonna be doing New Year's tomorrow. I'm gonna work on possibly doing a best of that'll be up on YouTube before we actually hit the stream tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We're going to find out what that news be doing at 4 o'clock. We're going to do New Year's celebrations. 7 or 8. Maybe 6, 7. I'm sorry. But we got news to cover. We apparently have struck Venezuela. Yes, cancel Justin, please. Oh, hold on. Why is this doing this to me? Since OBS updated, I've been having an issue with like audio sources.
President Trump is acknowledging the first known airstrike inside the country. It comes as
oh shit, clinically. Happy birthday, motherfucker. Let me pack a bong for you, my friend. Everyone wish clinically a happy birthday. Ooh, I got something just for you. I was gonna save it for later on in the show. I was like, when clinically sees this, I know exactly what he would think. Pretty much every billionaire that owns a super yacht is in St. Barth right now for New Year's Eve. Jeff Bezos, Miriam Adelson, Shahid Khan, Sergey Brin, Jerry Jones. Clinically, if you had one birthday wish... I knew that would be the response. I like a lot of the commenters on the thread were like, please, let's summon the orcas. Is Luigi out of jail yet? No, but I think that is what we could look forward to in 2026 is the Luigi trial. I think he gets off. In more ways than one. People, Flash, welcome in. I think Luigi gets off and then, like, fucks everybody in the United States. Motherfucker's gonna be like Prince. He walks into a room and, man, woman, farm animal, it doesn't matter. They're all gonna present to him. 2026, we get to see Luigi walk free. I do believe, I am almost certain that there is not a district, a jurisdiction in the United States where you could hold a trial and you could get a jury where there's not at least one person who isn't going to convict him. 'Cause that's all he needs. He doesn't need all the jurors to agree. He just needs one to absolutely refuse. And I think there's one. At least one. I think most of the jury would agree with him. That's why in almost every situation, I think most of the jury would be sympathetic to Luigi. And apparently now the state this is the federal case. The federal case that we're coming to first. The feds are going to have to throw out a lot of their evidence because the state of Pennsylvania boggled his arrest so badly. 2026, Luigi. Cheers to clinically. Cheers to Luigi. Curious, sir, you want some bong? You still out in the kitchen? I yelled for her yesterday and she was watching a movie in the living room and she totally couldn't hear me. I didn't put any dabs in it. I probably should have. I know. I want your birthday wish to come true. I would love nothing more than for your birthday wish to come true. But apparently, instead of bombing St. Berth's Island, we be bombing Venezuela.
To a significant escalation in the U.S. pressure campaign against Venezuela. President Trump is acknowledging the first known airstrike inside the country. It comes as he tries to manage flaring tensions between Russia and Ukraine. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has the latest.
A new escalation in President Trump's pressure campaign on Venezuela now coming to light. The U.S. has been hitting alleged drug trafficking boats at sea for months. The most recent strike killing 2 people just yesterday, according to the Pentagon.
Let it be known that even if they were trafficking drugs, I think that's a good thing. I want more drugs in the country. More drugs are always a good thing. Progressive Squirrel, I don't know if I told you good evening. Welcome in.
But now, President Trump revealing an attack on Venezuelan soil, saying his administration took out what he calls a big facility.
There was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs.
NBC News has not been able to verify where or when the attack happened. The president has previously said that he...
Oh, okay. So, Progressive Squirrel is correct. It could result in a mistrial. A hung jury, and then the judge declares a mistrial, and then it is actually the prosecution's discretion if they want to bring the charges again. So it is possible that they would keep doing it until they get a unanimous jury, but most of the time the prosecution is going to choose not to retry the case. One of the rare instances we came to was Karen, what's her name, that killed her cop boyfriend this year. Karen Reed, the Karen Reed trial. They retried her after the jury could not come to a unanimous decision. But then she won in the second trial. Oh, God, you are right about that, Progressive Squirrel. They might keep trying because it's Luigi, but
he's authorized the CIA.
That's a lot of egg to have on your face.
But he would not say who was behind the strike.
Was the facility taken out by the U.S. military, or was it another entity like the CIA?
And also, to be clear, and I'm sorry to take away from this story because it's very important that we're bombing Venezuela, but like they have 2 shots at him. They have the state charges and the federal charges. They have charged him in New York on state charges for murder, and then he is also facing federal charges. The federal trial is the first one that's coming up.
Well, I don't want to say that. I know exactly who it was, but I don't want to say who it was.
Blue Magic Man, welcome in.
Sure.
Venezuela's authoritarian leader, Nicolas Maduro, has repeatedly denounced the U.S.'s military buildup in the region. Meanwhile, President Trump monitoring another conflict from his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. Trump speaking by phone again with Russian President Vladimir Putin as the U.S. continues to push for a ceasefire in Ukraine.
It was a very productive talk. I mean, we have a few very thorny issues.
Putin telling Trump Ukrainian drones tried to attack one of his residences in northwestern Russia, which Ukraine denies.
This is not the right time. It's one thing to be offensive, because they were offensive. It's another thing to attack.
Oh, you are definitely
Russia's foreign
offensive.
minister now saying that his country's negotiating position will be reconsidered following the alleged incident.
It pulled up the coup. That's what we watched for Live Music Monday last night. The chat voted on Queen and the coup. Both were excellent. Can't go wrong with Queen. Because they tied and we had to watch both, I did not do the 2-hour Queen concert I had. We did the 25-minute Live Aid set. It was amazing, but I do want to watch the 2-hour set at some point in time. Want to get more Queen. Have I talked about the Somali daycares? Yes. Yesterday I did a whole 40 minutes on it. Go to my YouTube. There is a fantastic video, I think, that needs a little more love. The Minnesota fraud mastermind exposed. Talk about old grifter Nick Shirley. He's back at it today. He's got new shirts that says Leering Center, which fucking hilarious that the sign is misspelled. You can think he's a goddamn idiot, but it is fucking funny that the Leering Center. But what they've done, they've just hired somebody off of fucking Fiverr to make the sign. I know this because I'm on Fiverr. Try to get it done as cheaply as possible. But God, it's fucking funny. But then, dude just shows back up in Minnesota with a shirt that says Leering Center. Iranians are protesting a drop in their currency.
Iran, protests are erupting over much of the nation over soaring inflation and the sinking value of the country's currency. Thousands taking to the streets and shopping malls for the past 3 days after the Iranian rial hit a record low against the U.S. dollar.
I am good about not misspelling things in the media I produce, mainly because I have misspelled things before, and it is horrifying to misspell something that goes out and has been seen by thousands of people, tens of thousands of people when I was working on the television.
Videos capturing the chaos. You can see massive crowds there marching in the streets. Police at some points tear gassing protesters. Crowds are demanding that the government address the nation's economic crisis, as well as its shattered defenses after the U.S. conflict with the U.S. and Israel. Joining us for more on this, Arash Azizi, contributing writer at The Atlantic and an Iranian affairs columnist for The National. Arash, great to have you.
I'm sorry. I'm sure he's well credentialed, but I can't really take him seriously because he has literally a neck beard. How you gonna bring me a neck beard to talk about anything in this climate? Clean him up. Make him shave.
Someone with...
I can't believe I just said that.
...to Iran. Curious what you make of these demonstrations. How does it compare to what we've seen in the past?
I bet you do. You seem like a neck beard.
To what we've seen in the past, particularly the 2017 and 2019 protests, because they were triggered by economic demands. But let's be very clear. They're triggered by economic demands.
My neck is smooth.
The regime has for so long been unaccountable and is really not responding to people's demands. Immediately people use the slogans like death to dictator. They come out against the entirety of the regime. What I find just striking is that there's such broad sympathy for people's demands. It's very hard to live in Iran today and deny that things have gotten worse. The currency has
very much like my head, very bald.
It was just 18 months ago.
Very bald.
So it's very hard to deny this. And obviously even public figures like, well-known sports commentator, former government figures, all expressing that, look, people have a point and they have a reason to come out.
You have friends and family living there. What are you hearing from them right now?
I think I can say I hear two things. First of all,
well, I mean, I just happened to shave today. Yesterday, I was very much a neck beard, so am I one to talk? Really? I'm told this is the hypocrite show over here.
People sort of show a lot of sympathy. They understand that people are really fed up. As usual, people are really full of admiration for the bravery of people coming out because we know what the regime does to people who come out. And these are people who from different segments. So bazaris, merchants, sort of traditional Iranian markets came out. Students came out last night, even though they were repressed. Some people were arrested in all over the country. So that's one feeling. The other feeling is that a lot of people, remember 2017, 2019, 2022, 2023, and they ask themselves the question of, how can we get out of this? How can the protests finally get to the result that they want, i.e., change government policy or change the regime sort of itself? And that there's a lot of frustrations because people remember the failures of the past. And the failure is rooted in the fact that the opponents of the regime have not been able to build a political alternative, build a political leadership, and that's something that has evaded them. Iranians show a lot of bravery, but they're going to need a political leadership if they want to achieve their goals.
And we just put up a fascinating chart on our screen showing just how much the currency in Iran has plummeted. You're getting a lot less, you can see there, over time. 1 million rials, more than that, compared to the dollar. That means people are not getting as much for their money there. I'm curious, Arash, you've said that it's somewhat unprecedented that the president actually wants to meet with some of these protesters behind this issue. What does it tell you that they're willing to talk?
So President Pezeshkian is a reformist. He's someone who acknowledges a lot of problems there.
I was getting ready to say they elected a reformist in the last election. Is this dude just going to be the fall guy when their economy crashes and usher in a more brutal dictatorship?
In this sort of Iranian economy and society, and he has tried to take this tack to say, like, we'll talk, we'll be able to answer some of your demands, and they're trying to do things. They changed the central bank governor, but unfortunately, this is quite limited because, first of all, Pezeshkian doesn't actually control power in Iran. He doesn't control the security forces. Really, the power lies with the supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, who, as usual, is nowhere to be seen. He loves to give boasting speeches, usually, but he usually hides at times of crisis like this, at least for a while, as he did during the 12-day war with Israel earlier this year, where he basically hid in a basement for much of the war, and he has done the same since. He's not as much public anymore. So
my lord, welcome in.
Is limited, and it's also not clear what he can do because the economic problems are really deep-seated. So it's not clear where this goes.
Nowhere to be seen as millions, as we pointed out, take to the streets. Arash Azizi, great to speak with you. Thanks so much for your time.
Also, I was editing the clip last night, and I was like, oh my God, my microphone sounds so much better. I'm so happy to have this motherfucker back. I'm going to jack it off on stream. I've missed it so much. Both the microphone and the board. So glad. So glad. It sounds like butter. Butter in my ears. I'll go out there and hit her bowl, just a normal fucking glass bowl. A little longer pipe than most, but a normal glass bowl, and I will cough my fucking ass off. But for some reason, I can take a gigantic bong rip and take it like a champ. It is the weirdest thing. They're phallic shaped and it's intimidating. I never thought about that in my life. I've had a microphone in my hand since I was, fourth grade? What was I? 8, 9, 10? I don't know. Somewhere around there. And it's not just her pipe. It is also like smoking out of my little metal pipe here. Smoking out of, I have she got me okay, I gotta show you this. She got me the cutest little toolbox to go on my desk to hold all my small electronics, little adapters and shit that I have. check this motherfucker out. It's purple. It matches my shit. A little mini bong. Hell yeah, my lord. But yeah, it's not just her pipe. I've got my little glass piece like this. It also chokes me up. I don't know what it is. Anyway, anybody just coming in here, tomorrow we're going to be on at 4 p.m. Eastern. New Year's freaking Eve. The event has already been created on the YouTube. We're going to cover the biggest stories of 2025. There should be a best of up on YouTube beforehand. It's probably going to premiere before the stream, however long the best of ends up being, probably like 3 hours. So 1 o'clock Eastern, I'll put like a best of up. We'll go straight into the stream. If you can't get enough of JustinFREAKIN and stupid ass news, if you want to relive my opinions on the Palisades fires and Charlie Kirk and Lil Nas X having a crash out and being in his tidy whities and all that. Oh, that's the kind of probably a lot of me calling Congress people and asking them to be my GOP mommy. That is what happened. That was what defined 2025 for JustinFREAKIN. I was dead set on harassing congresswomen and wanting them to be my GOP mommy. You know, I've never. She's the one that I use on the graphic, but I've never called Anna Paulina Luna's office. I mean, we're gonna have to fix that. The last phone call I made was Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. Oh no. There we go.
You have reached the office of Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Please leave your message after the tone.
Hey, Congresswoman Paulina Luna. My name is JustinFREAKIN. I do a show called The Troll Patrol Live. You're on right now. Your voicemail is. We're on stream on YouTube and Twitch. And I just wanted to let you know that I actually use you in one of my on-screen graphics. It's a video of you in a bathing suit that says "Make America Great Again," and my graphic says "Be my GOP mommy." And I have been on a quest in 2025 to find a GOP mommy, and I've called several members of Congress and senators, Joni Ernst, Nancy Mace, Elise Stefanik, asking them to be my GOP mommy, but I realized tonight that I had never contacted your office despite the fact that your fine ass appears on my stream multiple times a night because I'm pretty horny for a GOP mommy. So if you'd like to give me a call back, my number is 917-830-4359. Please call the Troll Patrol live. We would love to talk to you, and perhaps you'd like to hear out my proposition about you being my GOP mommy, which is kind of odd because I'm pretty sure you're younger than me. I'm 41, so kind of weird to ask you to be my mommy, but a kink's a kink, right? No kink shaming. Anyway, please give me a call back. Troll Patrol Live, JustinFREAKIN. Happy New Year, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. We will talk to you soon, hopefully. I just told her she's my last choice. Well, no, not really. Lauren Boebert's probably my last choice. Or maybe Virginia Fox. Then again, I've seen her bank account, so maybe not. She gonna be my GOP great grandmommy. Oh. Oregon gal, welcome in. She does have a fine ass. I've taken up for her. Clinically, it's tried to say, what, 4 out of 10? There is no way that ass is a 4 out of 10. Okay. Speaking of women who can be my GOP mommy, but maybe she's not even going to be in the GOP very much longer. Marjorie Taylor Greene, apparently out with some new fire accusations against Trump.
Less than a week before Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns from office, she's making new allegations in her fallout with President Trump over the Epstein files. In a New York Times interview, Greene says Trump privately told her, quote, "My friends will get hurt if alleged abusers connected to Epstein were exposed." In a statement, the White House says, quote, "Congresswoman Greene is quitting on her constituents in the middle of her term." And
wait a minute, what? Let's rewind that back. Greene says she expressed her perplexity over his intransigence. According to Greene, Trump replied, "My friends will get hurt." I have been pretty certain that she saw something in the Epstein files, but apparently, like, it's just Trump straight up told her, "Me and my friends diddle kids."
Privately told her, quote, "My friends will get hurt if alleged abusers connected to Epstein were exposed." In a statement, the White House says, quote, "Congresswoman Greene is quitting on her constituents in the middle of her term and abandoning the consequential fight we're in. We don't have time for her petty bitterness." So for more on all this, I want to bring in our Capitol Hill correspondent, Jay O'Brien. And Jay, this New York Times piece, it's pretty meaty, 18 pages here. But
I had something pretty meaty for you
on this this alleged conversation between the president and the Congresswoman.
So this is a phone call, Alex, that Marjorie Taylor Greene has talked about before. It comes when Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of that handful of House Republicans who were defying President Trump and signing on to legislation to force the release of the so-called Jeffrey Epstein files the Department of Justice has. This is legislation that ultimately passed, remember, the House and the...
So I'm assuming this is when he had her come to the White House back in, it's hard to remember the timeline now, August, September? Shortly before the recess?
the Senate, and after President Trump first opposed it, he ultimately signed it into law. But in the initial stages of that effort, when Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of just those handful of Republicans stepping to the president on this issue, that's when this phone call, Greene says, took place. And as you say, she goes into more detail in this interview in the Times about it, and she says that in her recollection, President Trump said to her that one of the reasons for his opposition to the release of these Epstein files was that his quote-unquote friends could get hurt. Now, that is only Greene's recollection. We haven't heard from the president one way or the other on this, and it's been clear that Greene and the president have had a very serious falling out because of her support of the release of these Epstein files. And so putting aside the details of this call for a second, it is just another fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump have had this very public breakup over this issue that at one point was critical to President Trump's MAGA base, was a campaign promise of President Trump's to put out whatever they could about the Jeffrey Epstein case.
Well, that's kind of a misnomer. It was not a campaign promise of Trump's. It was a campaign promise of surrogates of Trump. They were very much saying release the files. And Fox News asked Trump about it and edited his interview to make it seem like he would release the files. But in reality, he did not say that he would release the files. Classic Trump doublespeak. Anachi, welcome in.
Alex.
Yeah, well, and she, by her recollection, talks about him yelling at her via speakerphone over this. But I'm curious, I mean, what are you hearing on Capitol Hill about this interview?
It's not necessarily the Epstein stuff that is really taking center stage with Republicans I talked to, not necessarily about this piece, but about the broader Trump-Greene breakup. Really what the Republicans I've talked to take issue with is Marjorie Taylor Greene's concerns that President Trump has abandoned what she says is his MAGA base. That's been something she's been saying for the last few weeks now. It's been her view that President Trump abandoned the promises he made when he ran for re-election in 2024, has left, she says, that base of voters behind that talked about affordability, that talked about transparency when it comes to the Epstein files, and a number of other promises that President Trump made. And it's her view that President Trump has distanced himself from those voters in the pursuit of other things. Now, the Republicans I talked to on Capitol Hill largely take issue with Greene's characterization there, but they are concerned that Marjorie Taylor Greene could potentially give air cover to some other disaffected Republicans. And you might see, and it's Greene's hope that you do see, she has said this publicly, this kind of groundswell of other Republicans coming out and publicly criticizing the president, publicly.
There has been reporting that we could get ready to see like between 20 and 60 Republicans come out and announce their retirements, that they're running for other offices, maybe something in their states. The Republicans on the federal level in Congress or the Senate, that we're getting ready to see a bunch of retirements, a bunch of people leaving Congress, and Greene is just like the first of the dam breaking. And behind the scenes, everyone is leaving. Which is cool. Good. Good. Do it.
So far conducted.
I wish the Democrats would do the same thing.
Well, and listen, Green has a platform at least for
we need an entirely new Congress,
but
Senate. We need like fresh people from the ground up
left in Congress. So, do we have any ideas to what's next for her?
She's not just not seeking re-election, she's leaving early, right? She's going to end her term on January 5th, this coming Monday. She's going to resign early. There's going to be a special election to fill that seat. So she only has a few more days left as a member of the House of Representatives. And to your point, one of the questions hanging over Marjorie Taylor Greene is what is next for her?
There has also been rumblings that she is going to try to oust Mike Johnson before she leaves, and my God, would I be here for that. but she's only got a few more days to do it.
Said she's walking away from politics, that she's no longer going to be in the political fray. But there is this active question right now amongst Republicans, particularly in the president's MAGA coalition, of how much of a voice of opposition does Marjorie Taylor Greene become having left Congress. She won't have the platform of a sitting member of Congress, but she's obviously a household name. She was perhaps the closest to Donald Trump amongst House
She was their top fundraiser at one point in time, wasn't she?
With the MAGA movement on Capitol Hill. So she still has a voice. And the question is, does she deploy that voice even more critically against President Trump after she has left Congress? That is a concern of some Republican leaders I've talked to.
Yeah.
If you're not aware, the reason why she is doing this, AOC said it. This is who I'm siding on this one. AOC says that Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to run for Senate in Georgia, and Donald Trump put the kibosh on it and said no, and she is incredibly butthurt, and she's gone scorched earth over it. Now, I don't know that I totally believe this story. There's probably a kernel of truth to it. But I don't know why Trump would do that, because, once again, she has been one of their top fundraisers, if not the top fundraiser. So it doesn't make any sense that he would want to kneecap her. Unless the Epstein thing was the, final straw. So I don't know how to read her at the moment, and I don't know exactly what she's going to do. If she's good on camera, she's good on the microphone, she'll probably be a host of something somewhere. Join her boyfriend at Newsmax. She could be on Fox if she wanted. She could have a podcast and probably do incredibly well. So I don't know where this goes. Trump issued a pardon to a crazy ass woman that we covered when she was convicted. She threw a fit on the judge. We watched the whole thing because I'm like that. When she threw the fit on the judge when she was being sentenced. Her name is Tina Peters. She literally committed election fraud. Right-wingers are so against election fraud. This woman, on camera, boldly committed election fraud, has been sentenced, currently serving her time. Trump issued a federal pardon for Miss Tina Peters in Colorado, but there's a problem with that. Tina Peters was convicted of state charges, so Donald Trump's pardon doesn't mean fucking shit.
President Trump's use of pardons is a Rorschach test of sorts on how people view his second term. For some, he's undoing Justice Department, quote, weaponization. For others, he's letting loyal followers get away with crimes. Earlier this year, President Trump pardoned around 1,500 people for their involvement in efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. As we near the 5th anniversary of the January 6th Capitol attack, one high-profile election denier remains behind bars. And as White House correspondent Liz Landers reports, there's little Trump can do to get former Colorado County Clerk Tina Peters out of prison.
President Donald Trump has been on a pardoning spree of late, using his executive power to bestow clemency on convicted businessmen and the former president of Honduras.
No order necessary.
Well, they didn't make a mistake. They erased it.
He recently announced on social media that he was pardoning Tina Peters, a former Colorado County clerk, though his pardon power only covers federal crimes, not her state convictions. He wrote online the Democrats had, quote, been relentless in their targeting of her.
She caught people cheating on an election, and they said she was cheating. She wasn't cheating.
She may not be a household name, but Peters' case has become a rallying cry for MAGA and the president since her conviction last year. Tina Peters served as the Mesa County clerk administering elections in the Colorado community after being first elected in 2018. A Republican, Peters became a vocal election denier, questioning the 2020 results and the voting machines used to conduct them.
No one has addressed looking into the machines to see what has been happening by these vendors, by this vendor that manufactures the machines and what goes on. It's been a mystery box, a mystery black box.
In 2021, Peters allowed someone associated with MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell to misuse a security card to gain access to the county election system. And lied about his identity.
And she knows what she did. And she knows what she did was brave, but it wasn't wrong.
Her attorney, Peter Tickton, says Peters doesn't regret her actions.
For her to admit to wrongdoing would have to be because she's either brainwashed herself or others brainwashed her, or I mean, she'd be living a falsity.
Peters was charged in 2023 with 10 counts related to the scheme. A Republican district attorney prosecuted the case. She was convicted in summer of 2024 of 7 of those charges. 3 counts of attempting to influence a public servant.
And showed no remorse in front of the judge. Once again, gave the judge what for during her sentencing. It was insane to watch.
1 count of conspiracy to commit criminal impersonation, first-degree official misconduct, violation of duty, and failing to comply with the Secretary of State. The district judge sentenced her to 9 years in prison, not mincing words at her sentencing.
Your lies are well documented, and these convictions are serious. I'm convinced you would do it all over again if you could. You're as defiant as a defendant as this court has ever seen. You are no hero, you abused your position, and you're a charlatan.
During his second term, President Trump has repeatedly pressured the Justice Department and Colorado officials to pardon or release Peters, writing in August, quote, "If she is not released, I'm going to take harsh measures." Democratic Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold spoke to PBS NewsHour about that pressure campaign.
What happens with Trump is he tries to push the line, tries to push people pretending he has authority that he does not. And if they refuse an unlawful order or an unlawful executive order or request, then the retaliation starts from him, but also the far right.
This is just the latest in a series of moves to rewrite the 2020 election. The president recently pardoned prominent members of his 2020 campaign legal team who had not been charged with federal crimes, including Rudy Giuliani and attorney Sidney Powell. And on his first day in office, he pardoned more than 1,500 January 6 defendants. Griswold says that Trump's pardon for Peters has clear limits.
She was convicted under our state laws in a state court, and the president does not have authority to issue pardons for state convictions. That's very clear in the Constitution.
I need this.
It's also very clear in the Constitution that he's not allowed to be president, but that happened.
A revelation that struck him as he watched the 2012 film Lincoln.
I am the President of the United States of America, clothed in immense power.
We're looking at it now, post the Civil War, when the central government, the federal government, became the strong central government that it is, that really made the United States into one cohesive government, one cohesive country, instead of a conglomeration of countries, which it originally was. So when the framers wrote for offenses against the United States, they weren't talking about it, they were talking about them.
Are there any examples that you can think of a president pardoning a state crime or state conviction?
So there are, but I really need to delve into it a little bit deeper.
Colorado's Democratic Governor Jared Polis said
that wasn't a help.
Its announcement that the courts will decide.
Why'd they interview you then?
Hopes it reaches the highest court in the land.
The Supreme Court.
That was a valid question.
A good number of the justices are.
Now I want to know.
Are smart enough to understand that to understand what the Constitution really means. You got to look at the minds of the founders. What did they mean?
Griswold, though, argues the repercussions would be felt far and wide if Peters walks free.
It would set the precedent that people can attack our elections and potentially disenfranchise Americans without any type of consequences. It would also set the precedent that if people break the law and are friends with Donald Trump, they won't face consequences. That's a direct assault to the rule of law in this country, and it just cannot stand.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Liz Landers.
I've lived through it again where people committed heinous crimes and got off scot-free without facing consequences, and it's emboldened them. It has emboldened them yet again. A lot of our problems go back to the fact that Nixon didn't get prosecuted. And then Reagan didn't get prosecuted. And then Bush didn't get prosecuted. And then Obama didn't get prosecuted. Apparently, this is like breaking news. ABC just put it up 1 minute ago. Apparently, the CIA carried out drone strikes. Oh, this is the port. A couple of you mentioned it when we were talking about Venezuela earlier.
Escalating tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela, and new.
Oh, I had a story on it, but
drone strike was behind an attack on a port facility inside Venezuela. President Trump sharing few details about the operation, but it comes as the U.S. military carried out another deadly strike on an alleged drug boat in the Eastern Pacific. Here's ABC's senior White House correspondent, Selena Wang.
Tonight, a dramatic escalation in the U.S. pressure campaign against Venezuela involving the country's top spy agency. The CIA reportedly carrying out a drone strike on a dock allegedly used by the gang Tren de Aragua to transport drugs overseas. According to the New York Times and CNN, they reported no one was on the dock or killed during the attack last week. Overnight, the president sharing new details about the operation.
There was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs.
Yeah, this is from yesterday with Bibi Netanyahu.
We hit the area. It's the implementation area.
Now, apparently all the drugs are going to Europe.
No longer.
If they are even carrying drugs.
Trump himself first revealed the strike, the first known U.S. operation inside Venezuela, in a radio interview last week.
They have a big plant or a big facility where they send where the ships come from. 2 nights ago, we knocked that out. So we hit them very hard.
Tonight, the CIA declining to comment on the attack.
The whole idea of using the CIA here means that the president doesn't have to go up to Capitol Hill and ask for the use of military force.
This as U.S. operations against Venezuela enter a new phase. The U.S. has launched at least 30 strikes against alleged drug boats in the Caribbean and Pacific Ocean. Overnight, the military sharing this video of a missile strike on one of those boats in the Eastern Pacific, killing 2, bringing the death toll to 107 people.
Oh, you're right, my lord. The bomb cost more than the dock did.
To prove
absolutely
they were smuggling drugs or posed an imminent threat to the United States.
Selena Wang joining us now from West Palm Beach, where President Trump is spending the holidays. And Selena, there's
more artists have canceled after a jazz concert was canceled on Christmas Eve last week at the Kennedy Center. More artists have canceled their performances.
Building controversy, a dance company is now the latest group of performers to pull out of a show at the Trump Kennedy Center after the president put his name on the front of the building. The New York-based company calls the move a takeover by the Trump administration and says because the president renamed the building after himself,
chair
can no longer permit ourselves nor ask our audiences to step in.
He made himself the host.
Institution. This is the latest in a series of cancellations.
I may curious or watch it because 1, there were some good musical performances going to happen, and 2, I was like, oh, Trump is hosting it. It could go off the rails. It could be crazy. But it wasn't because he only came up and did a speech at the beginning, and the rest of them were like pre-taped that he had done behind the desk in the Oval Office. because he was up in the box watching it.
Since the president
and
attached his
ultimately it was
Kennedy
pretty
Center.
boring, and we ended up
One jazz performer
not
who's
watching
now
the whole
being
thing.
sued by the Trump Kennedy Center for $1 million. For more, let's bring in senior White House correspondent Selena Wang, who is traveling with the president in Palm Beach County, Florida. So, Selena, the administration threatening to sue one of these artists.
I feel like we just saw her.
Performance. What do we know about this?
Yeah, exactly. This is against jazz artist Chuck Red. Now, the Trump Kennedy Center is led by Trump's appointee, Richard Grenell, and the center is saying that they want to sue this jazz artist for $1 million. This is after Red announced that he was canceling his Christmas Eve program in light of Trump's name being added to the Kennedy Center building. Now, in response, the Kennedy Center is saying the following, quote, any artist canceling their show at the Trump Kennedy Center over political differences is not courageous or principled. They are selfish, intolerant, and have failed to meet the basic duty of a public artist to perform for all people. Now, Chuck Red is just one of several artists who have announced cancellations in light of the name change now to the Trump Kennedy Center. And another artist who announced their cancellation was folk singer Christy Lee. She was supposed to perform on January 14th, and she put out a statement on Instagram saying she won't lie to her audiences that canceling a show hurts. She says, quote, that's how I keep the lights on, but losing my integrity would cost me more than my paycheck. She goes on to say that when American history starts getting treated like something you can ban, erase, rename, or rebrand for somebody else's ego, I cannot stand on that stage and sleep right at night.
We will have to keep watching to see if there are any further cancellations in the new year, too. Selena Wang, thanks so much.
Yeah, that is not the way that you don't want to sleep right at night. Not the only musician taking a stand against dumbass Republicans. Jack White, resident of Tennessee, went after one of DJ Dub's favorite Republicans, one Mr. Tim Burchett, the dude that always says daggum. Jack White blast Representative Tim Burchett's post sharing a fake AI video saying Tennessee deserves better. U.S. Representative Tim Burchett drew a scathing response from musician Jack White after commenting on and resharing a misleading AI-generated video of the singer. Can you believe that a U.S. congressman, a once hallowed and respected position in our society? I know U.S. history. It was not ever really a hallowed and respected position in our society. Multiple people have had the shit beat out of them on the floor of Congress. Would repost an AI-generated video, White wrote in an Instagram post featuring a screenshot of the clip. What kind of joke are we all living in now? December 29th, Burchett, a representative from Knoxville, posted on Twitter.
Don't even think about listening to my music, you fascist. Don't even think about listening to my music, you fascist. Don't even think about listening to my music, you fascist.
So he reshared a stupid fuck grifter on Twitter, this MAGA response. Jack White just doubled down against Trump supporters saying, don't even think about listening to my music, you fascists. What's your response to Jack White? Tim Burchett, who is a representative, I don't think Jack White lives in his district. I think Jack White lives in Middle Tennessee. Tim Burchett is East Tennessee. That cute little girl from the Addams Family got really ugly and angry. Just trolling. Several hours after Burchett's post, White responded on Instagram calling out Burchett and conservative supporters of President Donald Trump, remarking, it's really sad how embarrassing our leadership has become. Burchett responded to a video from a MAGA account purporting to show Jack White saying, don't even think about listening to my music. The clip is clearly a deep fake, a video using AI to manipulate source material. In this case, the clip uses footage of White giving an acceptance speech during the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The 7-minute speech, White referenced stories from when the band was still active, thanked previous artists for their inspiration, and urged upcoming artists to keep trying. While White didn't mention Trump supporters in his original speech, he has been outspoken about Trump and his administration. As of December 30th, both the fake video and Burchett's post remain live on X despite a community note added to the original post and callouts from other users in Burchett's replies and in White's post. Burchett even responded to one of the comments, doubling down on the insult. Daggum. We sure do have a lot of dumb fuck grifters on the right-wing side trying to become influencers and YouTubers. Hey, I'm not going to criticize it, but like, you motherfuckers have no ethics whatsoever. Much like Nick Shirley, who we exposed as a fraud last night. That's right. The only fraud going on in Minnesota is Nick Shirley. This is local channel KARE in Minneapolis, giving an update on the Minneapolis Child Care Center accused of fraud.
Minnesota daycares disputing allegations of fraud and empty buildings at their centers.
Now, this comes as a state officials visit daycares that were featured in a now viral video to ensure that there are actually children attending.
Raya Katene went inside one of those daycares today and has our top story. Raya?
Well, we stopped by a few of the child care providers featured in Shirley's video, and the director of ABC Learning Center in South Minneapolis tells me he feels as though this is a political and a form of racial profiling. He says that's opposed to a good faith attempt at uncovering fraud.
Make Child Care Center, Sweet Angel Child Care, and ABC Learning Center. These are some of the Minneapolis child care providers featured in this now viral video created by YouTuber Nick Shirley.
I mean, who runs it? Who supposedly runs it? Somalians.
Accusing the daycares of being fraudulent. We visited a few of the providers on Tuesday and were invited inside the ABC Learning Center by the director, Ahmed Hassan.
There's no corruption going on here.
According to the state, ABC Learning has been open for about 6 years and is able to serve up to 40 kids at a time.
That's their classroom. They eat here.
Hassan says the center is open 7 days a week, and he was there when Shirley showed up exactly 2 weeks ago.
That's the one with the masked people and doesn't have a plate.
This surveillance video captures Shirley arriving at the center a little after noon. Hassan says he was only there for a few minutes and that he was accompanied by masked men in a vehicle with no license plates.
A lot of people are not feeling safe, you know. Some people believe him, you know. The viral video was shared everywhere. It's more political rather than corruption.
The state says all of the centers featured in Shirley's video were visited by inspectors within the past 6 months and again this week after the video was published.
Why didn't inspectors say something about this sign then? Quality Learning Center.
Get arrested. Bye. Meanwhile, Hassan says he and other employees are receiving threatening phone calls from people across the country.
We wanted this propaganda and attacks to stop.
We are still waiting on those results from yesterday's state inspections. I have called and emailed the Department of Children, Youth, and Families several times today, and of course we'll update you as soon as I do hear back. We've also learned within the last hour that Republican Representative Nolan West, who is the chair of the Children and Families Finance and Policy Committee, sent a letter to Commissioner Tiki Brown questioning some of the statements that she made in a briefing yesterday regarding the centers shown in Shirley's video. And we do have that full letter posted on KARE11.com. Back to you.
All right, Raya, thank you for the very latest on that as well.
Shirley already back in Minnesota again with his bullshit. Back on his bullshit. You can't really see it right here, but he's wearing a shirt that says Quality Learning Center, which is funny. I can't blame him. Great marketing, not journalism. Shirley returned to the Quality Learning Center on Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis. Apparently, they also misspelled Nicolette. You gotta admit, from the typos on the sign and the address, doesn't seem like it's really a quality learning center. The center, which was mocked for having signage that misspelled "learning is leering," appeared to have worked to fix its sign since the video was posted. Shirley was accompanied by the investigator featured in his YouTube video, Investigator, who had pulled records on the funding for the daycare center. Shirley, wearing a misspelled "quality leering center" sweatshirt, appeared to be working on a new video. Oh God, we gotta suffer through a FIFA ad. Come on, Brave browser, what the hell?
It continues to be right here in Minnesota as federal authorities investigate allegations now of widespread fraud. Today it was several daycare centers.
Homeland Security posting today's efforts to social media, and it was another viral YouTube video that spurred today's activity. Mary McGuire joining us now from the newsroom with the latest. Mary.
Well, Simone and Randy, after a YouTube video claimed to uncover $110 million in fraud at Minnesota daycare centers, the feds were seen doing door-to-door checks at centers across the Twin Cities. One day after FBI Director Kash Patel pledged to continue investigating fraud throughout Minnesota, federal agents went door-to-door at local daycare providers, stopping by Burnsville Learning Center in a video posted to social media.
Other businesses that you partner with, that you use for a service of any kind, maybe
I'm pretty sure these are the same agents that are going to be featured in a story that we're going to cover here in just a moment.
A massive investigation into childcare and other fraud in the state. The issue of reported daycare fraud was thrust back into the spotlight after a YouTuber recently claimed to uncover millions of dollars in fraud at 10 Minneapolis childcare centers. Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families, Tiki Brown, responded to the video on Monday, saying there were children present at the sites when they were visited by the state.
We do take the concerns that the video raises about fraud very seriously. Each of the facilities mentioned in the video has been visited at least once in the last 6 months as part of our typical licensing process. And in fact, our staff are out in the community today to visit each of these sites again so that we can look into the concerns that were raised in the video.
She added none of the child care centers featured in the video have had their payments paused, but 2 were shut down by the state previously. One as recently as last week.
When I saw the bank account for the business, there were large cash withdrawals on a continuous basis.
Fox 9 first reported on the issue of alleged daycare fraud in 2013, exposing over the years how some gamed the system to steal millions meant to help low-income families. In 2019, the issue was so pervasive, Governor Tim Walz added $5 million to the state budget to fight fraud within the child care system. Money meant to fund additional investigators, a fraud tracking system, and training for staffers on cultural sensitivity and implicit bias. We are still working to learn more about how exactly that money was used. And we are still waiting on a response from the governor's office. Walz is pushing back, though, on the claims made in that viral video, with a spokesperson telling us the governor has strengthened oversight, hired an outside firm to audit payments to high-risk programs, and has asked the state legislature for more authority to take aggressive action when it comes to fraud. Mary McGuire, Fox 9.
Now, if it feels like this might be some sort of political hit job that was orchestrated by somebody far above Nick Shirley, who is clearly not an independent journalist if he is being directed by a political party, which apparently he was, the GOP caucus director, or the GOP caucus directed YouTuber to Minnesota. Professor explains why it went viral. In a viral video over the weekend, a YouTuber travels to Minnesota, knocking on doors and accusing Somali-owned daycare centers of fraud. Minnesota House Speaker Lisa DeMuth said on Monday that her caucus steered YouTuber creator Nick Shirley to daycare sites in Minnesota. Those featured in his widely viewed video have been part of a state-administered child care program using federal money, although some recently had operations or payments suspended. The video was shared by Vice President J.D. Vance, FBI Director Kash Patel, and he is aware of the video. FBI Director Kash Patel said he is aware of the video. The FBI is investigating. DeMuth said the attention from the federal officials is deserved. It is predicated on what I would call a kernel of truth in many cases, but has also engaged in a fair amount of fear-mongering, the use of really explosive terminology, references to violence, and the suggestion essentially that the world's going to hell in a handbasket, and only President Trump and his supporters can defend us from this onslaught. It's a lot of rhetoric with relatively little substance behind it. This is the professor talking to Terry Gross on NPR. That's where this came from. We should listen to this.
Support comes from St. Croix Montessori School,
Can
where
we
children learn through hands-on experiences
can we
on a
fast
17-acre
forward ahead?
campus and certified school forest. Now enrolling toddler through 8th grade. More at stcroixmontessori.org.
Programming is supported by Aaliyah Healy Remodelists, a women-owned design and construction firm specializing in coordinating and guiding
Mr. Sprunk, please go watch my video from last night where we went ahead and broke down the ringleader. This is prosecutor's words, not mine. She was found guilty on 7 counts. Her name is Amy Bach. She was manipulating people in the Somali community. This story is not new. And real investigators have already been handling it. The Minnesota Star Tribune did a wonderful job reporting on this. Right-wingers are losing their goddamn minds over just a fabricated story. If someone is committing for, like, people are trying to say, and it's what the right always does, that, like, people on the left are defending fraud when all we're doing is setting the record straight. This is just another stupid fucking YouTuber trying to get famous as an influencer, which, hey, more power to you, but he's doing it by being incredibly deceptive. Just like James O'Keefe. This is called the James O'Keefe. For those of you unaware, I had to live through this once already. James O'Keefe in 2011, dressed up as a pimp, went into an organization called Acorn. Might have been even earlier than that. It might have been like 2010. Fox News played this constantly, that like the people in Acorn were giving out government money to pimps that abused their hoes. And it was a sensational story. Fox News talked about it all the goddamn time. Well, we have the full videos now, thanks to the court cases, and we know that Acorn did nothing wrong. They reported these assholes to the authorities just like they should have. But Acorn got defunded and isn't even a thing anymore. James O'Keefe got famous and went on to get millions of dollars from all these right-wing donors, and then guess what happened? He defrauded the organization he founded, Project Veritas. They had to oust him because he was funneling their money into doing these lavish plays and shit that stroked his own ego. So I'm just calling out the bullshit media tactics that the right is engaging in yet again. I would like to listen to this interview, but I ain't got no time for NPR. They're probably going to restate everything I just read. Well, Mr. Sprung, you're saying that, but like he's already gotten the media attention. By the time the record gets corrected, the lie spread faster than the truth. I shouldn't. Why do I know the name Nick Shirley and not the name Amy Bach? Dosiatello, welcome in. Why do all these right-wingers know the name Nick Shirley but not Amy Bach? Please go watch my YouTube video from last night. I'm not saying that just because I want the views or anything. I think I did a good job laying out the facts. And no need to apologize, my friend. We're all good here. But these assholes are getting people harassed with their bullshit, and it keeps happening. Right-wingers get outraged about nonsense like Chaya Ratchik with her libs of TikTok and Matt Walsh going after these hospitals. They got bomb threats called in on children's hospitals over just nonsense that they promote for clicks and views, because keeping people outraged is a hell of a lot easier than providing comedy or putting thoughtfulness into your content. And this Nick Shirley motherfucker has already caused people to be harassed with his bullshit.
Tonight, growing calls for a solution after an online video on alleged daycare fraud in Minnesota programs went viral.
Millions of people
Is she a robot?
watched this, and Minnesota and leaders in Washington are now responding. And because of the high volume of traffic today at the Minnesota Department of Human Services daycare licensing lookup website, it's down right now, as it has been since this afternoon. We've got team coverage. Ben Henry is digging into the call for Governor Walz to...
And that website is probably really useful. There are people who experienced an outage of a service they probably really need because right-wing nonsense. And as I pointed out last night as well, nobody's talking about the fraud in Mississippi. Ted DiBiase Jr., the son of the $1 Million Man from the WWF, getting ready to go to trial for the fraud he committed in Mississippi, where the governor diverted welfare funds into the pockets of people like Ted DiBiase Jr. and Brett Favre. But right-wingers don't bring that up because, you know, there's no racism to that. They can't smear Democrats with that one because that was a Republican governor. You know, this is the kind of shit I get. No, he runs a church. Quantum, welcome in. He runs a church that was taking money from welfare and diverting it into Ole Miss, I think. Yeah, Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, has a ministry. He gave his life to God. Ted DiBiase Jr. used to be in the group Legacy. And if you're a wrestling fan, stick around. The next one's about wrestling.
Resign.
But first, Brittany Ehrman is live in.
But Ted DiBiase Jr. is the one getting ready to face trial.
Videos on social media as agents question a legal citizen about suspected fraud near her business.
Well, Lindsay and Kevin, we heard from a woman who was in one of those videos posted by ICE. She works in this tobacco shop, and she tells me that earlier today, ICE walked in the shop and they wanted her help to look for someone else, but the woman in that shop was still posted on social media anyway. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security posted this video on X with a caption saying, quote, DHS is on the ground in Minneapolis going door to door at suspected fraud sites. The video.
I don't know that my commands are working.
CBD questioning a store employee.
I asked why you are recording me because I saw one gentleman, he was recording on his phone, and he just told me, no, I'm just recording my partners.
But Zina Al-Mahadi later found that video with 1.6 million views on social media. In the store's security footage, you can see 4 agents walk in, including one agent with his face covered recording on his phone. In the video posted by DHS, we boosted the audio to hear the exchange. You can hear an agent ask the woman if she's associated with the business next door. She says no.
Appreciate it,
The
Flo.
agent then asked when the last time.
Be sure to give it a like.
Saying the business looked closed.
You know when the last time someone's been there? His video does not show.
Smash that like button, fuckers.
It's just directly from their car to here.
So they didn't accuse you of any wrongdoing?
No. Even I offered them to show my paperwork, like that I'm legal.
She says the video's posting quickly led to online harassment and people showing
Of
up
course
to the
it
store
did.
asking about it. She says the attention has made her feel unsafe and targeted.
My mom, she called me, she was worried. I know they're doing their job, but it should be in a better way.
We reached out to the Department of Homeland Security asking about the video. We asked what criteria ICE uses to determine whether a business may be fraudulent, why this woman was recorded and included in a publicly released video, and if she was ever suspected of any wrongdoing. We also asked if DHS would remove the video if she was not involved in the investigation. We are still waiting on that response.
No, they're just out here harassing citizens.
Business right next door, the one ICE appeared to be looking for. I walked in, a woman told me ICE was there earlier that day, asked for her papers, she showed them, and they left. Lindsay and Kevin.
Okay, that's pretty.
Papers, please. In the land of the free, motherfuckers. This is supposed to be a country founded on fucking freedom. The harassment is the point. You're right, clinically. All right. This next story is worlds collide for me. Maynard's doing it again. He's licking his ass on stream. He knows I'm talking about him. I've said it many times. Textillion, welcome. But yeah, let's, now that you're here, let's smoke. Before we get to this, because you guys are going to have to buckle up for this one. Any of you guys who are regulars over on Echoplex Media are going to know at least one of the characters in this next story. Silent, did I tell you good evening? Welcome in. Tomorrow we're going to start New Year's festivities, 4 o'clock on the YouTube and the Twitch. We're going to find out what that news will be doing, cover the biggest stories of 2025. I should have a best of up on YouTube ready to go beforehand. Best of 2025. Relive some of the classic moments of the Troll Patrol. Mainly just me calling congresswomen and asking them to be my GOP mommy. Had a good one earlier with Anna Paulina Luna. I'm going to put that on YouTube. As some of you probably know, because I've said it many times, when I'm not on stream, I unplug from politics. Usually. The thing I like when I'm not on stream, video games. I'm into video games. I'm into music. But I'm a big wrestling fan. And I listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts. I consume a lot of wrestling content. It's the thing I do to unplug from politics. A couple of weeks ago, worlds collided when my favorite wrestling podcaster got into a spat with one Jack Posobiec on Twitter, and hilarity ensued. Jack decided to take to his show to talk about one Mr. James E. Cornette.
There's as happens typically in my life, a funny thing happened on the internet this week where, so I find myself getting caught up with another side of the internet, which, what can I say? I'll explain what happened. That, so Mick Foley, who is known as, he was a great wrestler in the 90s.
Cactus Jack, Mankind.
And he had a couple other, different iterations, Cactus Jack, Dude Love. And he came out with this post, said that he's parting ways with the WWE. And he refuses to work with the WWE because he is...
Human events with Jack Posobiec.
He's too close to Trump, and Linda McMahon is in the admin, and that, doesn't like what Trump's doing, et cetera, et cetera. But what's crazy, though, of course, is that Obviously, Trump has been close with WWE for years.
Yes,
billionaire
he is a WWE Hall of Famer.
When he was in the ring, he's in the WWE.
Mick Foley is not dead.
He was booking events and promoting events with Hogan and the Giant decades ago. So I mean, it's suddenly all of a sudden, Mankind is out there. So I posted this tweet up. I say, Mankind, Mick Foley, who's a guy who's known for being hit in the head and taking more bumps to the head than any single other person in wrestling, who literally has the most head damage, is the guy who's also the most liberal. Draw your own conclusion. So I posted that up, slapping back on him, clapping back. And then Jim Cornette, corny out of the wrestling world, comes in and he's like, Jack Posobiec, he's a bad guy.
Supposedly, Jack Posobiec is a wrestling fan, which it seems to me, I don't know how old he is, seems that he might have, been a fair weather fan during the Attitude Era. That's what I'm picking up as someone who is a hardcore wrestling fan. But he really doesn't seem to know who Jim Cornette is. For those of you who don't, Jimmy Cornette was the manager of the tag team, the Midnight Express, went on to manage Yokozuna, Owen Hart in the WWF, was a commentator, was a booker behind the scenes, was a man who helped make the matches. He helped train John Cena, Batista, Randy Orton. Jack Posobiec is a right-wing influencer and conservative nut job. He is the mastermind behind Pizzagate.
He's a Nazi. He's a Nazi. He's a Nazi. He's a Nazi. We don't like that guy because Trump's a Nazi and Bannon's a Nazi and Poso's a Nazi. They're all Nazis. And it's like this. He uses the dehumanization language. He calls us a maggot.
Now, can anyone tell me what this? I don't know what word he uses. Fuckers, major defects are, so I can pass them along to him. Jim. Fantastic with words. I'm sure it was great.
So
sorry you had to censor
the left world. They will refer to Trump supporters.
We'll come back to that.
Maggots. And I responded that in kind to say, well, actually, Jim, aren't you literally known as a guy who was in, perhaps most euphemistically way I could put it, who had been in an open marriage in the 1980s and was known for using a certain chair in a certain room when people would gather in that room for
cocksucker. Yes, probably Jim said cocksucker.
Marital activity.
Jim is indeed a swinger. That is a thing. It's well known. Might be a cuck. It kind of seems like. I don't know that he's a cuck, but he definitely likes for other guys to fuck his wife, which is totally cool. Lives in sexual anarchy. I'm sorry you can't get any Posobiec.
You live in sexual anarchy?
So it's, kind of interesting hearing this guy want to moralize a guy who's used, and by the way, I'm not one to sort of tone police, but here's a guy who walks up and tells us he's all the most righteous person in the world. And you got videos of him saying all sorts of stuff over the years. So I call him out. I say,
certainly not. This is 30, 40 years ago, this video. You can even see this VHS. He's telling his story in the 90s. And he absolutely dropped the N-word, but he has changed. He will tell you that he doesn't use the N-word anymore.
You want to talk? Come talk. Come face me in Phoenix, Arizona. Come to the AmFest stage. I'll book your flight because we know you're broke as a joke. You've been broke since the 90s. You can't make any money. Mick Foley's going to be losing his contract anyway, his Legends contract with the WWE. And I looked at Jim Cornette's podcast. He gets 5,000, 6,000, maybe 10,000 views on a good day. All right?
That's not true.
10,000 views on a good day. So, all right, I see what's going on here.
He might be talking about the individual clips on YouTube, which, yeah, true. But those are the clips on YouTube. His podcast is always dominating the top sports podcasts, not just wrestling. Jim Cornette is one of the top podcasts. And, hey, Brian Last, if you have to listen to this, I'm not going to play that much of it. I do not want Stephen P. New on my ass because I love you guys and I'm a huge fan, but we're going to get part of Corny's response. I've got two different sections of it, and I love the artwork.
Brian, His name is Jack Posobiec. I might as well just say Piss Boy. But he's the Pizzagate guy. He is one of the primary guys that convinced people that Hillary Clinton was running a pedophile ring in the basement of the pizza parlor in New Jersey.
Oh, get out of here. That was years ago. This is the guy behind it?
I swear to God, look him up if you want to. I don't know how to
I don't want to.
Well, I'm still not sure exactly how you spell it or say. I've never heard his name out loud. I thought he was some random guy on the fucking Twitter, right? He's one of the random guys on the Twitter. And he is, again, he's AI'd because we don't coexist in the same social circles, right? As me and Jack Pissboy. So he doesn't know what to say about me. So he's AI'd like insults or whatever, I guess. And so it's either a 35-year-old VHS of me using inappropriate language in a parking lot while discussing a fight I was in, or the same shit that the cosplay wrestlers tried to do 4 or 5 years ago when they tried to me too. And boy, that turned out well. Everybody ended up going underground or being canceled themselves for being sex pests that was trying to fucking pin all this shit.
They tried to cancel Corny. It was wonderful.
And he tried to insult Stacy, but he called her the wrong name.
Oh, I did see that. Someone sent me that. They're like, how come you've never talked about Jim's wife, Janice? And I was like, who? I don't know who that is.
That's what he said. Jim has been broke since the 90s. But Jim worked for WWE up until like 2003. Once again, he trained John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, Brock Lesnar. Was one of the trainers of Brock Lesnar. Posobiec said, hey, Corny, quick question. How many times did you watch while beautiful Bobby and sweet Stan ran the Midnight Express on your wife, Janice? Who the fuck is Janice? Nobody knows. Once again, Brian, if you have to watch this, please don't take down my video. Please don't stick Stephen P. New on me. I'm on your guys' side. Just a short taste of Corny's comeback. Here's the full video. I'll put it in the chat if you guys want to hear Corny's rant.
Everybody, every time that he reveals his public statements, deeds, words, or actions, he has offended somebody. And he apparently cheated on his wife on Bumble. Do you have any idea what the fuck Bumble might be?
I think it's like a dating site or a dating app.
Somebody tweeted me his picture of him with his cell phone, taking a picture of him in the mirror with a thing that said to Bumble and whatever the fuck. But he's like the Dan Aykroyd skit, Saturday Night Live. I've mentioned it's one of my favorites, where Aykroyd is the talk show host that wants to be controversial. The name of the show is Talk Back. Call 555-1212 and talk back to me. And then they sit and stare and the phone doesn't ring. And then he says,
we watched that on Classic Saturday Night Live.
Maybe of a political nature. And talk back to me and nothing. And then he escalates it a notch on some capital punishment and the phone rings and it's a goddamn wrong number. And then finally he says, killing puppies, I'm for it.
I think it was killing puppies, he said.
Idiots are doing, they'd be nobody except they've hooked their wagons to this grifting gravy train. And they're helping poison our country, which obviously at this point, I think there should be a water advisory. Don't drink the shit all over the country now. Our well has been poisoned to this extent. But they're all in on it. And after a day or so, I tweeted him back, thank you. Because again, now I can at least believe when I lay my head down at night that pig-faced criminal piece of shit that should be rotting in jail, but for this whole disinformation campaign, knows that I see through his bullshit. That's the best Christmas present that anybody ever gave me, and I don't want or care for any of these people that he has summoned upon me to be my audience, but I do appreciate the hatred and vitriol because, again, if these people don't like me, I'm doing something right.
That's how I feel, Jim. That was Jim's response to Jack Posobiec. I figured more of you would know about Jack Posobiec. I figured Dave talks about him a lot. Once again, Brian, please do not come after me with Stephen P. New. Love you guys. Link to the full clip. I only used like small little snippets. Love you, Brian. Love you, Jim. Great Brian last. Approve. If you're having to watch this because YouTube tagged you, approve me in the Facebook Jim Cornette group, please. Like I got zucked. And I was in the group. I waited years to be approved to be in the group. And I finally got in, and then my Facebook got zucked. Jim Cornette is so entertaining that, like, you could listen to him. He talks about things that aren't wrestling related. Most of the content is wrestling, old wrestling, because he's like a historian of wrestling. He'll talk about shit from the 50s and 60s and even older than that. But like he'll talk about other topics, and when he does, hilarity ensues. It's not always wrestling. You should go subscribe to Jim on YouTube. Watch his non-wrestling clips, because he is entertaining as fuck. He's just got a way with words. Let's go to Montana, where several Republicans got kicked out of the party for voting with Democrats.
Well, look, it's no secret that political polarization is pretty much the norm these days, with Republicans and Democrats not agreeing on much. Now, back in April,
welcome in.
GOP state senators in Montana were kicked out of their party for voting with Democrat colleagues across the aisle. Now, some of those lawmakers are talking to our Jolene Kent about why they did it and how they hope to set an example for the rest of the country.
Montana is often called the last best place, where life feels different. And this year, different meant something rare.
Moving to Montana soon.
I mean, I would have worked with anybody if they have a solution.
9 Republican state senators voted with 18 Democrats to form a new majority to pass major legislation last session, undermining the influence of the ultra-conservative caucus of the Montana GOP.
Fucking A.
Income tax relief. We invested in infrastructure. We invested in the future of Montana.
Safe to say, it did not go over well.
Y'all were called part of the nasty 9.
Yeah, that's a bullying, that's right.
I say necessary 9.
The political punishment was swift. The 9 senators were censured by their own party in April, stripped of their GOP status, and in June, cut off from voting rights at Republican Party conventions.
It become
Tell me it's not a cold.
My way or the highway.
What was at stake, Senator?
Big things, as far as I was concerned, was the Medicaid expansion. An example of one of the hospitals I work with, they work on a pretty small margin.
Senator, what was at stake for you?
Medicaid.
So these are people that are actually in the community and are trying to deliver for their constituents. And the Republican Party at large just wants to play fucking politics and act like Trump.
Reauthorization. I had 2.
I admire all 9 of these people.
What would have happened if you had not been able to pass this legislation?
Well, you get people that will go to the emergency room. So we end up paying 2 and 3 times the cost as taxpayers. And if that happens, pretty soon the doors are going to close as well.
In another bipartisan effort, the Senate approved a state trust to support housing, infrastructure, pensions, and childcare.
We're going to invest in dams, bridges.
And preemptive repairs so that you don't come behind and have to pay this triple price to fix it.
The state legislative session ended on April 30th. With lawmakers back home, Senator Bruce Gillespie hosted our interview on familiar ground, his family farm in Etheridge, near the Canadian border. All 4 GOP senators here share that connection to land and make their living in agriculture. Despite criticism from within their party, these Republican senators believe they still have hometown support.
We've had a lot of thank yous. We've had a lot of, attaboys. Keep doing what you're doing.
I've received a lot of emails and a lot of letters similar to this.
So what's it say? You mind reading it to me?
I'll read it. Dear Danley, I'm so glad you stayed with your basic ethical beliefs. You have more fans than you know.
2 Democrats who joined the 9 Republicans say they all just focused on what was best for Montana.
I mean, they've been called part of the nasty 9. You're a Democrat. Are they nasty?
No. We've had some epic arguments.
We respect their opinion, they respect ours, and we just move on, right?
And it doesn't change our party values. We always came back to the table.
I mean, if we weren't willing to sit down and talk, we would have never accomplished half of what we did.
Americans need that right now. Just don't look left, don't look right. Look ahead at the goal, which is to serve our constituents. There's a lot of pain in Montana right now.
They want to see relief. They want to see their quality of life improved.
I refuse to view the word bipartisan as a bad word. He might not vote for my bill, I might not vote for his, but we can both vote on it on behalf of our constituents. You better bet we'll come together.
I like these guys. I can tell you that.
Do you like them back?
Oh, like I said, I'm friends. I like them. I'm proud to call them friends.
So not the nasty 9 after all.
No.
No, they are not.
It's nice to see that unity in Montana certainly bucking the trend nationwide. And this story is not over yet. The Montana Republican Party chairman did confirm to us at CBS News the party no longer considers the Republicans that we interviewed to be members of their party.
The Republican Party
has 3 of the 9 Republican senators suing to regain their rights to vote at the Republican Party convention in Montana. The so-called Nasty 9 says the punishment has been a distraction for what they call the GOP leadership failure to deliver for Montana families, and they're committed, they say, to their conservative principles, and they're just looking for some unity, guys.
What a remarkable story. Jolene Kent, thank you very much. That was great.
Wow. What is the story? I showed the what is this, a plot? A graph? A map? A map. Pretty much every billionaire that owns a super yacht is in St. Barth right now. Right now, at this moment. For New Year's Eve. That includes Jeff Bezos, Miriam Adelson, Shahid Khan, Sergey Brin, Jerry Jones, and 100 plus others. Pretty much every billionaire that owns a super yacht has it parked on this one island right now. I know what Clinically wants for his birthday. The billionaires in California are fighting back against an attempt to actually tax the rich. They don't understand that taxing the rich is the compromise, and there are many, many people in the United States who don't really want to compromise anymore and kind of want to go Luigi on your ass.
Welcome back. In California, a proposed ballot measure that would tax the wealthiest people in that state sparked some pretty intense backlash From a place that is rich in cash, we're talking about Silicon Valley. Supporters say the policy could generate billions of dollars and make up for an anticipated budget shortfall in the California healthcare system. However, big tech leaders and billionaires slam the proposal, arguing it will drive entrepreneurs to just leave California. So let's talk about it live to CBS News senior business and technology correspondent Jolene Kent. Okay, Jolene, they're not getting into our pockets, but is it as easy as this to summarize that this is about taxing the rich in Silicon Valley?
Reed, this is a really fundamental question of how to solve a problem here in California when it comes to...
Oh, Jolene. That's a lot. Jolene. I'm sorry.
Healthcare and affordable healthcare. And
I'm using myself at least.
If there are enough signatures, and this does become a ballot initiative come November, this is driven by a union that is trying to make up what they call a gap in healthcare coverage and costs in the state of California. And the way it would work is California residents worth more than $1 billion would be taxed 5% of their assets would be taxed at a rate of 5%. And that could either be paid one time or it could be paid over 5 years. And it would retroactively, if passed, apply starting January 1st, which is in a couple of days. So the idea here is the reaction has been very strong and very controversial. If this goes through, the question among the analysts and the experts and the sources I've been talking to, is it worth it to do this, to have billionaires who may or may not actually leave the state of California? Or is it...
Let them leave.
This is something that some folks believe, billionaires should pay more taxes. And so it's a debate that has really sparked some, Twitter wars, Reed.
Right. And it's
so apparently what happens when you raise taxes when it comes to the ultra wealthy that live in your area, we have this because people use that example in Sweden. There were some ultra rich that left Sweden after they passed a tax increase. But basically what happens is people that are looking for a tax break are going to move wherever they want to move, and people that have ties to Sweden are going to stay in Sweden. Same thing with California. If the person like an Elon Musk is going to jump around, they're going to, be fickle and take whatever tax break they can get anyway. But if somebody actually has ties to the state and wants to build the community, they're going to stay. And those are the kind of people that you actually want in your state. So hiking a tax on the wealthy and driving out those people is actually kind of a good thing.
Fascinating to me. We're not just talking about the Zuckerbergs and some of the other big luminaries in tech. If they leave the state of California, they have to take that very important workforce with them, people who are not.
They don't necessarily have to take that workforce
or billionaire
with them.
category. But we also know you're tracking some reaction from lawmakers. Democrat Representative Ro Khanna of California embraced the idea on social media. How are others responding to this?
Yes, Representative Ro Khanna, who is obviously very active when it comes to tech.
It'd bring down housing costs, I'd say, as well.
Very much, plugged into all of this. He had an interesting reaction. He said, it's a matter of values. We believe billionaires can pay a modest wealth tax, so working class Californians have the Medicaid your party cut, talking about the opposite party. And he is responding and saying, Texas, for example, ranks near last in healthcare, education funding, and worker protections. But then you have other people weighing in. Senator Ted Cruz firing back, and he's saying, please continue driving all the job creators out of California. He's referring to the fact that Texas has received a lot of, big time players when it comes to innovators, founders, tech leaders. And he says Texas.
And then when your state starts suffering and you need to raise taxes on them, they'll go to another state because they don't actually give a shit about your state and your community. So let them leave. Jesus.
Are enjoying the prosperity. Then you have a more moderate, I would say reasonable voice in all of this. Alexis Ohanian of Reddit, always weighing in with the more nuanced view. He says we're absolutely going to have to figure out how our society adapts to a rapidly increasing wealth gap. It will be required to preserve a republic. But the answer, he says, Alexis Ohanian, is definitely not taxing unrealized
bullshit.
gains. So
definitely not taxing unrealized gains. Bullshit.
has both financial and economic impacts.
If you can leverage your wealth in order to obtain loans and favorable credit, yada, 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 no. You should have to pay taxes on that wealth because it in and of itself is an asset. And boy, is it a valuable asset.
As well as innovation. And as we look to what is happening between the U.S. and China.
But their wealth isn't even on paper. They don't have any money. I don't give a shit.
Doing business with each other. Where does this put California and the state of the United States, for example, vis-a-vis China and other competitors economically around the world? So this may seem like a potential ballot initiative here in the state of California, but the debate it stirred up signals that it means so much more, Reed.
It does, and we're starting to hear from people in Texas about it. You know, I anchor a local broadcast originating out of San Francisco, and you know, when I talk about the tech sector, when I talk about school closings and education, when I talk about our Bay Area rapid transit system, there's one word that keeps coming up, and it's deficit. Fascinating to see people look for solutions. We'll see if this one works in a ballot.
I apparently sing. Like, if you say something around me and it evokes a song in my head, I will sing it. I'll sing like a parody song of things. And Curiouser does it too, but she's like, we need to stop doing that. And I'm like, what? Like, normal people don't do that. And I'm like, well, fuck normal people. I don't give a shit. Jolene. We're heading into the crime section of the show. Some of the stories might be a little graphic. Yeah, we got a couple of graphic ones. A pastor who apparently got his ass shot was facing numerous domestic violence charges. This happened in Alabama, if it didn't sound like an Alabama story to you.
Already underway across the country. And in New York City today, that infamous crystal ball is getting a test run ahead of the time.
I put that to the side for a little later. Hold on, I'm sorry.
We're learning more about a church leader who died from injuries he suffered in a Dale County shooting last week.
He was identified as Pastor DeQuarius Green, shot during a suspected domestic squabble at a Level Plains home. News 4's Jacqueline Lambert with this story that's drawing some mixed reaction on social media. Jacqueline?
DeQuarius Green served Elbow Zion Missionary Baptist Church as its senior pastor. Hurt on December 23rd, Green, who had a history of domestic violence arrests, died Saturday. He was shot by a woman with whom he had a romantic relationship.
I am not surprised.
With and shared at least one child. Houston County court information also reveals that 3 domestic violence charges Green faced last year were dismissed because the alleged victim refused to testify against him. The separate protection order filing alleged that
she was probably scared
when she was pregnant. Records don't reveal if all of those charges involve the same alleged victim. It's also important to note that the court records do not indicate that the...
This is gonna sound racist when I say it, but never trust a black preacher. Don't trust any preacher for multiple reasons, but black preachers tend to be abusive. They tend to cheat on women. They tend to be womanizers. I realize that's a very racist thing to say, but it's kind of the truth. Meanwhile, white preachers, they diddle kids, which is way worse. Black preachers, they're womanizers and abusive. White preachers diddle kids. Southern preachers, well, unless they diddle kids, they're usually a womanizer.
Alleged victim in those cases is the same person who shot Green in Green's shooting. No charges have been filed, likely indicating authorities believe it could have been in self-defense. Typically, findings from these types of cases are turned over to the district attorney, who decides whether to present those findings to a grand jury. Facebook posters differed in their take regarding the case, some criticizing El Bazayan Missionary Baptist Church for employing a person with a history of domestic violence arrests. However, other posters paint a different picture of the man they knew, praising his spiritual leadership and calling him a beloved man of God. In the newsroom, Jacqueline Lambert, your hometown news leader.
Jacqueline, thanks for that report.
It's possible that somebody can be a different person with different people in different social settings. That is totally a thing. They can be a good person and nice and loving to you, and also be very abusive. Well, apparently we've got an update on this story. I was getting ready to do the story of, well, let's go ahead and we'll do the Texas girl apparently missing. I think they have found a body now.
Emerging today
just the last
in the investigation of the
few
19-year-old
hours.
beauty who vanished on Christmas Eve. They're coming from citizen sleuths who are using all their investigative skills to search for Camila Olmos. This surveillance photo shows Camila at her car at 7 a.m. Was someone watching her? Yes, according to this citizen sleuth.
There could be a grainy image of a truck sitting just kind of behind the bumper, and it looks like maybe on the road. I do sort of see something there.
Camila's phone was found on her bed with a dead battery. That's sparking speculation about why she was rummaging through her car.
Personally, I think she could have been going out to the car to get a charger.
This sleuth wonders if Camila's recent breakup with her boyfriend is a factor in her disappearance. We need to point out that Nathan Gonzalez has been cleared of any involvement in her disappearance.
It looks like this has turned now into a runaway case, where Camila just had a very bad breakup with her boyfriend.
You don't know shit, Ryback.
And she's having trouble seeing the light.
We spoke to one of the citizen sleuths who asked to be identified as Jasmine.
I don't think that she just walked off. Talking with the mother, talking with the family, I'm getting actual feed coming in from a conversation with the dad. I personally think that someone took her.
Camila's pals are regularly posting videos showing their missing friend. Here she is at her high school prom. Authorities have also released dash cam video that they say show Camila walking along a road on the morning she vanished. It's a few blocks from her home.
Away from her car.
At this point, that she's been kidnapped for human trafficking. What are your concerns?
My concerns are that we might be looking in all the wrong places.
God damn, we're just throwing out human trafficking.
That she might not even be in the same city as us anymore.
Talking to her friends and her loved ones and being like, oh, do you think she's been human trafficked? A body has apparently been found near her home.
Now to breaking
just in the last couple of hours.
As authorities in Bexar County tonight report a body has been found, but an ID has not been made at this time. That is important to mention. Now, this news comes as authorities there have been searching for 19-year-old Camila Mendoza Olmos. She disappeared nearly a week ago after leaving her home in San Antonio for a walk on Christmas Eve morning. Excuse me. Authorities say the body was found
Christmas Eve morning
in a field near the teenager's home. Again, no confirmation yet. However, the body found is that of Camila Olmos. Authorities say they do not currently suspect homicide, that the scene is being processed just as a precaution. Instead, they say indicators suggest the death is possibly due to self-harm. They add a firearm was recovered on the scene. It belonged to a relative and had previously been reported missing. But again, the ID of the body found in Bexar County has not been confirmed as of yet. We will continue.
Well, that took a turn.
This also comes as authorities say they have found a second teenage girl. She went missing last night. 14-year-old Sofia Gabriela Peters Cobos has been found safe. Meanwhile, a third girl, a 17-year-old, Angelique Johnson, was also believed to have vanished from her San Antonio home in the last few days. Authorities now
what the fuck is going on in Texas?
With her and that she left willingly. She'll be coming home in a couple of days. For more on this latest development, let's go to former FBI Special Agent Bobby Chacon.
Let's not. Let's fuck that dude. Yeah, you're right, clinically. Shit happens every day. I don't know. A woman taking her life with a handgun actually doesn't happen every day. That's pretty unusual. Women don't tend to use firearms. And how do they know that it appears to be self-harm? I've got more questions, but I guess we'll know more in the coming days. An inmate at a jail posted a video to Facebook Live. A warrant has now been issued for him. A warrant has been issued for a Memphis man who went live on Facebook from inside 201 Poplar to show what he called unlivable conditions inside the jail. Following the video's release in November, the Shelby County Sheriff's Office launched an investigation into how the man was able to keep his phone while in custody. Derek McDonald spent 4 days inside the jail after he says he was pulled over on old driving warrants. During the Facebook Live video, McDonald, who was paralyzed, was captured on video using a phone to film himself along with other inmates being treated in the medical area of the main jail.
Thur News leader, a Memphis man who is paralyzed, is calling for major changes at 201 Poplar tonight after he spent nearly a week inside the jail. Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Shay Arthur. He tells WRG's Raven Copeland about his time in custody, as well as the conditions he describes as, quote, unlivable.
I heard 2 days, I got changed, no, none of this.
Derek McDonald, who's paralyzed, took to Facebook Live Thursday to show the conditions inside 201 Poplar. According to McDonald, he was able to use his phone inside the jail because it was never taken at intake. He tells WREG he was pulled over Monday for old
Well, that's kind of their fault, isn't
which
it?
he says has happened before. However, in the past, McDonald says he was taken to 201 Poplar
Don't charge him with contraband,
never
though.
taken into custody because he was told the offenses were misdemeanors. In an interview with Your News leader, he describes the conditions inside the jail after spending 4 days in custody.
I don't know, roaches, bugs, nicks, fruit flies, like black mold everywhere, water everywhere, dirty clothes and stuff laying all in the hallway. I asked them several times to change me. They were like, no, like looking at me like, really like, they don't care.
McDonald has since been released and says his charges were dropped, but he won't stop calling for changes at 201 Poplar.
Oh, now I was feeling a little hopeless, really. I ain't never felt hopeless, but I felt hopeless then.
Reporting for Your News leader from 201 Poplar, Raven Copeland, WREG.
Thank you, Raven. Oh, that was the old story. There is a warrant out for his arrest. According to court records, the charges for possession of contraband. Yep, knew it. Which is a felony, so wasn't originally charged with a felony. Now he's got a felony contraband charge. Kensai, welcome in. We are that shining city on a hill where we abuse paralyzed men inside of prisons. A Seattle woman found a hidden camera in her yard. This has alarmed her. I bet.
The Seattle woman says she feels violated after finding a hidden camera camouflaged in the bushes pointing straight at her home.
Tonight, she's sharing the video with Fox 13 showing what she says happened not once, but twice. Fox 13's Alejandra Guzman has her warning to others in her community.
A camera wrapped in camouflage with only the lens exposed was found hidden in the bushes. It was pointed straight at Tammy's Beacon Hill home. She asked us not to show her face.
Oh, I knew I was being surveillance.
Tammy says she found the camera as she left for work one mid-September morning.
I noticed there was a black wire sticking out of the bushes.
At first, she thought it was harmless.
I thought maybe it was my USB cord for my charger.
When she pulled it out,
attached to the wire, there was an extended battery. and a camera attached to it.
When Tammy checked the footage, she says the camera was already recording.
And the camera was facing my house for the last 4 hours.
The discovery left her rattled.
I felt violated.
Surveillance video captured a man wearing a dark-colored hoodie, walking up to the same bushes at 2:41 a.m., then walking away.
Why us?
Weeks later, he's back. Only this time, it's two men. One of them appears to be hiding a phone. It takes him over a minute to place it in the bush, while the second keeps watch. There's no rush, no fear, as they move freely through the street. Tammy has a possible reason.
They stuck a green box up on top, and we realized that was a Wi-Fi jammer. So that's why they weren't afraid of looking at the camera, because they thought that they jammed the camera and they couldn't be recognized.
Oh, wow.
They were tracking her routine, who's home and when. She says one of the battery packs she found can last up to 3 days. She reported both incidents to Seattle police, who are now investigating the suspicious circumstances. With the help of a neighbor, Tammy recovered deleted files. More homes, she believes, had been carefully watched and recorded.
We know that I'm not the first one, and it went back a few years of things that he pulled up.
Seattle police urge you to call them if you recognize the men or have any information. Tammy, on the other hand, reminds you to be alert and to the men responsible.
Don't come back. Leave us alone.
This is Amber Rose speaks out. I thought that was Pete Davidson when I saw the thumbnail. I was like, oh, who's Pete Davidson dating now? That's what I thought we were getting ready to get. Textillion, did I tell you good evening? Am I just stoned? Strap in for this one, guys. A couple weeks ago, yeah, this was December 5th. A worker at a Cinnabon in, where was this? Nebraska? Oh, did he? Well, congratulations to Pete Davidson. His dad died in 9/11. A woman at a Cinnabon in, was it Nebraska? I think it was, because where Saul was working. That's why I laughed at the fact that it was in Nebraska. I think that's where it was. Maybe I'm wrong. It's one of those stupid states. Sorry if you live in Nebraska. This happened in the beginning of December. A woman was fired for her interaction at a Cinnabon. We now have the body camera video.
Bet you know why I'm here.
Huh?
Bet you know why I'm here. Do you know why I'm here?
No.
Has to do with the video I just saw.
Yeah.
The way you treated those customers.
They treated me like at first.
So give me your side of the story so I know what's going on.
They came here and harassed me. I have
Okay.
PTSD. They knew exactly that I was ill. It's not the first time. It's not the second time.
Okay.
So
What do you
don't
mean?
try to come at me and when they threaten me.
Okay, I didn't come at you. So tell me what's going on.
She's telling the cop what for?
What else is going on? What did they do to you?
I don't know. They started.
Nebraska is a lie.
How did
I have
they
no
start
idea.
threatening
I have
you?
no idea. I don't know.
So you don't know how they threatened you?
Nope.
And didn't they raise a bunch of money for her?
You understand this does not make a lot of sense to
All you have to do is be a white woman and say the N-word now, and you
You
can
just came at me and telling me that.
raise thousands of dollars.
What do you want?
I want to know what's going on. Why you treated those customers that way? What they did to you for you to do that?
I hate it here.
They treated me that way. This is a setup. Listen, I'm not playing money rolls right now.
Well, tell me what happened so we can figure out what's going on.
Nothing happened.
Well, what's your first name, dude? Okay, we're going to do this one of two ways, okay? You can start cooperating with me, give me your name, your info.
I can leave now.
Or-
I'm not dealing with
or-
this crap.
I can just arrest you, bring you to jail for
For what?
disorderly conduct.
Are you kidding me? I have PTSD
Nope.
and they came to
With what I
harass
saw
me.
on the video, I have hands down.
My
nothing
name is
against-
Chris.
That's all I'm asking for at this moment.
Possibly a hate crime, clinically.
Don't with me, it will be difficult. Am I clear? No.
Yes.
Okay. Crystal, how do you spell it?
Crystal.
What's your middle initial?
T.
Last name.
There's video of the interaction, isn't there? Should I go pull it up?
You treated them the way you treated them in the
I
video.
have no idea. They
What
started
happened?
treating me. All they said was that something about a bitch because the other two girls came and harassed me, and then I have no idea. I have no idea.
What other two girls?
There was two girls previous to them.
But so they didn't harass you previously? Two other girls did?
Yes.
Do you understand that's not fair to treat them that way when they didn't
I
harass
didn't
you?
treat them anyway. Do you have the beginning of this before they started recording?
I'm trying to get that from you, but you won't tell me.
There's no beginning. That's the thing, because you have 2 against 1 now. So
No,
there's
I
nothing
don't.
that happened. You threatened
Explain to me what happened.
to take me to jail.
Absolutely, because you're being extremely uncooperative with me.
It was Wisconsin.
So tell me what happened. That's what I'm asking.
I'm sorry. I thought everybody had. I thought I had showed this, but I don't know that I did.
I didn't listen, Tom.
Let me find the original video.
Van.
Who's Tom Van?
Listen, I don't know what to tell you, but I have no idea what happened. I'm the one being harassed.
Okay, here's the deal, okay?
I have
The mall's getting a copy of the video.
Great. Then I
Corporation's getting a copy of the video.
Great.
So here's the original video posted to TikTok. Bay Park Mall, Wisconsin.
Your body makes you a better person.
Are you recording?
I'm gonna record you. Yes.
Do you want me to throw water on you? I am racist.
So idiot, for
and
real.
you are an
idiot. No,
I
I'm
am
not.
racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world. Don't be disrespectful.
You ruin your life, by the way.
Oh, you talking about respect? You're talking about respect?
It's possible the Cinnabon fired her,
You're not gonna be working.
and they wanted to escort her out.
Talking about ugliness?
Did I stutter?
You're the ugliest person I ever seen in my life.
Good.
Fuck.
Your fucking
No, we're
face
not.
for
No,
what?
we're not. No, we're not.
Because you know damn well you're a
That's
fucking
respect.
evil
That's
fuck.
respect. Keep squeezing that caramel, bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
That was meant for you.
Showed her ass.
Realizing your body makes you a better.
Literally and figuratively.
I can quit.
So just so you know,
Great. I don't need to
I don't know
work
what
here.
those two want done yet. Okay, if they want you arrested,
I haven't done anything
you're
to
gonna
them.
get arrested.
You can't threaten me.
I'm
I
not
want a
threatening
lawyer.
you.
I want a lawyer.
That's fine. You can ask for one.
I have
don't
not
really
done
care.
a single thing. You
So,
cannot arrest
I will be
me
back.
because
How you doing? We just come here, order some food, and we're trying to get some snacks too, cinnamon rolls and boba. So after we order our food, we went to the cinnamon
You don't want no Cinnabon.
spot.
Shit's
there was
nasty.
lady working there. First week, we were waiting in the line for too long. She was just cleaning around, doing her business, like while we are in the line. It wasn't a big deal. We just hanging there, wait. She come to us at the end. She asked what she want. I placed my order.
Okay.
When we placed the order, when she was adding the caramel and the rolls, she added a little bit because the bottle was almost empty, I think. My wife asked her, "Can you please add extra?" And she said, "Yeah, I can add it. You can see it, how I'm struggling with squeezing the bottle." When she said that, she shoots a little bit and then she added, "Yeah, of course you can see through the witchcraft you are reading fed into her skull." I was like, and then I stepped up. I was like, "What?"
Oh, she's a crazy woman. Thought they were doing witchcraft.
She's reading.
Sports cards. Yeah, I didn't think morals still existed.
Everything is the witchcraft. She's reading and she go on and on. And when I tried to confront her, she go on me too and tell me, "Yeah, you are a nigga too," and she is that and that. And my wife pull up the phone immediately as soon as she said the first part. Even when she's calling me nigga and all that's on tape, my wife started recording after that and everything, and she was like, "I'm gonna throw while you're recording, I'm gonna throw water on your face," and all. I was like, "If you throw anything on us, we're gonna bring our hands on you too. You can't do that." She kind of stepped back. She didn't throw anything, but she was keep doing that. You can see through the video.
Okay.
And she was keep yelling and.
I didn't see her threatening to throw anything.
You got the video?
Yes.
Can I see it? You mind if I hold it?
Yeah. Are you recording?
I'm gonna record you. Yes.
Do you want me to throw water on you or something? If you do that, I'm gonna knock you out. I have a right to do that. I would get the out of my fucking face. With your retard.
You better fear for your life.
Exactly.
Get the
You racist. You racist? That's I am racist.
So idiot, for real.
You are an idiot. No, I'm not. Racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world. Don't be disrespectful.
You ruined your life, by the way.
Oh, you talking about respect? You talking about respect? You are fired from this place, motherfucker. You're not gonna be walking.
She did get fired. There is that.
Like what? Look how you fucking look. What's wrong with you?
I don't know, bro. Like, why? First you told like she's having a bad day or one day. Okay. She ain't even climbing over the table and doing that.
Ah, the drama. Times Square is preparing for tomorrow night. They got a new ball. Did you guys know that? If you watched last year with me, you knew that because we knew they were retiring it last year.
New York City, of course, they're getting ready for the biggest New Year's Eve party in the country. Times Square is going to have, again, a big celebration. And what is a party without confetti? That's why the organizers were actually testing the confetti drop. That's the moment everybody will be waiting for when that clock hits 0. We're joined now by Fox 5 New York's Jen Williams.
Seems like it, extra terrible.
How are they getting ready for that 3 tons of confetti, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of confetti. Now, tomorrow will actually be the last step of preparations. They will be testing that iconic ball drop, and the Times Square Alliance actually confirmed to Fox 5 New York that Mayor Eric Adams will be doing the honors. He'll be pressing the button to release the ball. As for today at 11 a.m., it was really rainy and drizzly, but there was another test conducted that had all the people in Times Square stopping to take a look and take in all the excitement.
3, 2, 1, Happy New Year!
Monday morning, the confetti test ahead of the iconic New Year's Eve celebration in Times Square. People also still had a chance to visit the wishing wall to put their intentions for 2026 on a piece of confetti, which will be included in the 3,000 pounds of confetti that will burst into the air on Wednesday night.
Wait, didn't they say 3 tons?
That's a good wish. Mom, what do you think of that wish?
Oh, yeah, 3,000 pounds.
Sort of love that wish because that's a lot of work for Mom, but we're ready for
I was like, isn't that 2.5 tons? But I'm stupid.
Oh, yeah, I wish that too.
I don't know math very well.
Wishes that will be put into the tons of confetti that will be dropped on New Year's Eve. It's a way for people to be a part of the celebration in Times Square.
The confetti drops at midnight, but there's a little something extra planned for this year.
Then at 12:04.
Yeah, 2,000 equals a ton. Okay.
The beginning of the 250th anniversary celebration of our country. So as the ball is raised,
so she was wrong.
2,000 pounds of red, white, and blue.
He said 2,000 pounds.
Send on the crowds in Times Square.
As for that ball that has been dropping,
there's all kinds of numbers coming at me.
This year, it's expected to be better than ever.
So this year, it's a brand new ball, brand new one Times Square. The ball is bigger, it's brighter, it has more crystals on it. There are 5,280 circular crystals on the ball. It's got the latest technology. That is an increase from 2,667 in previous years.
For those planning to attend in person, here's what you need to know.
Don't bring an umbrella, don't bring backpacks, don't bring large coolers, don't bring a sign that could block.
I'm sorry, I got digged for my balls.
Sense of humor, and just come ready to have a fantastic experience in
that big old balls. They were down below my thighs.
There's also going to be a heightened police presence as well as security checkpoints. So again, if you're planning to attend in person, you'll want to come early.
Nothing fucking matters anymore.
And then, of course, you can always watch it online, and it's going to be televised live.
Yeah, watch it online with me.
I'll send it back to you in studio.
Thank you, Jen. Yeah, we will definitely.
What was this other one I got? The test run. Here's the test run.
6 is right around the corner. New Year's Eve preps are already underway across the country. And in New York City today, that infamous crystal ball is getting a
Join me at 4 p.m. tomorrow.
Drop that will be watched by millions around the globe. ABC's Rena Roy has more.
The countdown is already on to 2026, and this year that famous crystal ball got a makeover.
The design this year is based in a circular fashion, so it's a disc. So it's the idea of infinity, never-ending hope.
Security will be tight with thousands expected to gather.
We will have plainclothes K9 teams, officers on horsebacks, on our trains, subway stations.
Sorry, I didn't know my mic wasn't muted. I was belching over here.
There's a ramped-up police presence in New Orleans, too, this year after that deadly vehicle attack on Bourbon Street that killed 14 people during last year's celebrations.
We're going to have close to 800 law enforcement downtown in the French Quarter.
Oh, it was going to be oblong like one of my balls.
Incredible visual presence.
New Orleans welcoming National Guard troops who will also be patrolling the streets.
I feel safe now, knowing that the streets are safe and the National Guard.
I feel less safe.
In New York, they've even been testing the confetti drop, which may be mixed with a few snow flurries this year. Ryan Seacrest once again back to host Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve on ABC.
It is that one moment for me when you are on television and you look out at everyone and there is this warmth. There are smiles on people's faces. There is unity. There's togetherness.
And rehearsals are set to go on all day in chilly Times Square to make sure everything goes just right, with millions around the world expected to tune in. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
So on Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, Diana Ross is the headline performer at midnight, joined by Post Malone, 50 Cent, Chappell Roan, Sierra, Mariah Carey. I can't believe Mariah Carey shows her face at a New Year's after what happened in like 2016. New Kids on the Block, One Republic. Fucking Pitbull, he haunts me everywhere I go. Charlie Puth, I don't have any idea who that is. Demi Lovato, Le Seraphim, and Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes. Just do it live. One more, we did one last night. One more Christmas dog rescue before we move on from Christmas dog rescues. How many were there? How many dogs got trapped during Christmas?
Firefighters are being hailed as heroes after a viral Christmas dog rescue. The firefighters say they were responding to an EMS call when they found Lucy the puppy's adorable face wedged into this cinder block wall. Now Goodyear firefighter Patrick McCullough is here to tell us all about how they got Lucy out. Patrick, thanks so much for coming on. These photos are just the cutest, but you didn't know this was a dog rescue till you got there, right? So what were you expecting to find, and what happened once you saw Lucy stuck in the wall?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, the call came out as just a regular EMS call, so me and my crew were kind of just mentally preparing for, hey, what vitals are we going to check this patient out on? What heart monitors are we going to hook them up to? And then I want to say about a minute right before we got to the scene, our computer updated and said, hey, this is actually a service rescue. And I look at the other backseat firefighter and I was like, okay, it's game on. How are we going to kind of adapt and overcome this? And immediately we're planning, hey, I'm going to grab this tool, grab that tool. And once we got to the scene, we got out, grabbed our equipment, went to make contact with the homeowner, and then went right up to Lucy. And sure enough, her poor little head was stuck in between the gates, or in between the cinder block walls. And we did our very best to make sure that we didn't scare Lucy. We checked her for any bugs.
Look at her face.
And
makes me want to hold one of my babies.
We had what was called a flathead axe, and like a little ram tool that we can kind of hit the bed of the axe with. And we were there. I was on the separate tool, and I was telling the other firefighter, hey, strike this tool over and over. and we were able to get just enough debris out of the way that I could reach my hand in there and pull Lucy out and get her to rescue.
Did you know right away when you got there how you were going to do this, or was this kind of a brainstorming trial and error thing?
Yeah, it was definitely, hey, let's figure out the best possible way we can rescue Lucy without scaring her or anything, or even the homeowners too. We want to act in a very professional manner and in a way that will bring the highest level of customer service. And the way we did it, we figured it was the best way. And in the end, we saved a little puppy. So yeah, it worked out good.
How hard was it getting her out of
This is Smokey.
it without?
I think he's still asleep.
Yeah, it was definitely
he is just
challenging.
Falling back down.
Two firefighters operating the hand tools, and then our captain was actually kind of holding Lucy's head just a little bit out the way, giving us enough space to actually get in there and kind of do our job without getting any of the debris on her.
He totally licked his stomach before I picked him up. He's so wet. Why? How did you get that wet, buddy? Fucking with some wet ass, but you're laying on my headphone cord. Now I'm fucking with some wet ass pussy. Where's his drop at? Where's Smokes? God damn it. There he is. Cats are cute. Let's do some cats. This is live at Furball Farm Cat Sanctuary. Furball Farm Cat Sanctuary. Twitch people, stick with me. I think I'm gonna stay on for just a little bit longer, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna do here. We'll figure it out when we get to the other side. Furball Farm Cat Sanctuary. On YouTube. They're live on YouTube right now. Giddy's playing in a winter wonderland. Going indoors. This is like my dream. I would love to be able to get big enough as a streamer to where I could have like a cat rescue. Put cameras everywhere and have the cats 24/7. And then just take donations and subscriptions. Use that to pay for the cats. Rescue all the kitties that don't have homes. I would take in. Do you remember that girl? She was on Tosh.0. The viral video years and years ago. The woman that she's like, I love all the cats, and if I could hug all the cats, I would. That's my dream girl. I would hug all the cats. I need to find that woman and hook up with her. Yeah, it was an eHarmony video. That's what it was, Holiday. You're right. Like it was like her dating video. Oh shit. All right. YouTube people, podcast people. We're gonna be here at 4 o'clock tomorrow Eastern time. 1 o'clock Pacific. We're gonna start with the New Year's festivities. We'll count down to 420. We'll count down to New Year's all across the world. Twitch people, stick with me. We're going to do something for at least 30 minutes, probably. Watch an episode of something. Who the fuck knows what it's going to be? We'll find out. Podcast people, YouTube people, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun for the sack. I'll see you one last time in 2025 tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol live. All right, now that they're gone, I'll turn off the phone number and thing. It does too many and it repeats and shit. But I've never gotten around to fixing that, so I'll turn that shit off. Turn kick on. Apparently my Amazon Music has been playing this entire time. A new grow light, hell yeah. So I'm on, ow fuck Smokey, ow shit. God damn it. You clawed the shit out of my leg. I canceled my Spotify. I'm on a free trial of Amazon Music at the moment. I'm gonna try Tidal after that. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I do know that we're gonna get high. Anybody got any requests? Oh, you know what? I don't have the last episode of South Park, or I'd show you guys that, even though I probably shouldn't. Still flying too close to the sun on that copyright.